Driving economic growth in Nigeria through a strong housing system that is affordable needs reduction in the cost of building materials, which has continued to witness an increasing trend. This came to the front burner in Lagos at the stakeholders' engagement on development of fiscal incentives for manufacturers of local building material components in Nigeria themed, actualizing the renewed hope agenda for housing and urban development, examining strategies, identifying opportunities to boost sale and impact by the Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development. The Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Ahmed Dangiwa, said the engagement brought to the fore the urgent need to reduce the cost of building materials was critical in achieving affordable housing. He stated that it was imperative to support the production of local building materials, which would in turn boost employment opportunities nationwide. The Deputy Chairman of the Senate Committee on Housing and Urban Development, Senator Victor Ume, urged the government, industry stakeholders, and other players in the housing sector on the need for a roadmap for sustainable housing and urban development, to collaborate while emphasizing on the urgency in reducing overhead cost of raw materials. The head of sectoral affairs of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, Oluchi Odumuko, said the stakeholders forum came at a time that it has become imperative to find solution to the rising cost of building materials, transportation cost, and other associated factors.
The cost of building materials is a major determinant of housing affordability. If you can reduce the cost of these materials through local protection and strategic fiscal incentives, we can significantly lower the overall cost of housing construction. This in turn will make housing more accessible to the average Nigerian. So this forum is about that discussion that we are about to do. The issue of boosting local manufacturing building materials has been a long-standing one. Target-priced houses that will be within the reach of contributors to the National Housing Fund. These are the low and medium income earners. Similarly, BUMPAM was designed to provide backward and forward linkages in housing production, encompassing building materials, and the associated small and medium scale industries. This helps to also provide access to modern technology, training programs, and research and development facilities, enabling manufacturers to produce high quality materials that meet international standards.
The high cost and inconsistent supply of building material remains critical obstacles. Import dependence on materials like cement, iron rods, tiles, glass, and roofing sheets inflates construction costs. Moreover, the production capabilities of our local manufacturers remain underdeveloped, adding to the cost burden. To meet the needs of our growing population and rapidly urbanizing communities, we must focus on increasing local production. We need to reduce reliance on imports, making building materials more affordable and create jobs for our people.
To achieve this, the Senate Committee on Lands, Housing and Urban Development is committed to supporting a range of legislative and policy incentives, including but not limited to these ones: tax reliefs and duty exemptions, introducing tax incentives for local manufacturers of building materials, including corporate tax reductions to lower production costs. 2. Import duty waivers, granting waivers on import duties for essential raw materials, machinery, and technology required for local production to reduce overhead costs. Of course, here we're talking about raw materials that cannot be found in Nigeria.
The rising costs of these materials have posed a significant challenge to developers, policymakers, and aspiring homeowners alike. It is therefore imperative that we explore viable incentives and strategic interventions that will promote local production, enhance affordability, and reduce dependence on imports. As you may be aware, the Ministry, as part of the Presidential Priorities and Ministerial Deliverables for 2023 to 2027, is establishing building material manufacturing hubs in the 6 geopolitical zones of the country.
When we say haulage trucks, we are asking that there are CKD components and SKD components. We are asking that their import duties be reduced so as to help with the assembling of these components to ease logistics for the manufacturing sector. Recent increases in royalties and mining fees, license fees by as much as 1,900% have drastically raised production costs. We urge a reconsideration of these rates to prevent market distortions and cost escalations.